What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another random movie review channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Chase, and let's talk about one. And the one I want to talk about is the controversial Blonde. This one comes to us from Netflix. It is currently streaming on there right now, and this is a fictional retelling of Marilyn Monroe's life, kind of told in spurts, memories, fragments. It's not like a full uh, cradle to the grave story, but it kind of just is a fictional, fragmented memory movie that just so happens to have the main character's likeness, name, and everything that is Marilyn Monroe, based on a real person but fictional story. I'm aware of that. So before we start getting nasty in the comments, I'm aware of that. Okay. So going into this, my God, so much controversy. I remember watching the trailer and I thought, like, hey, this looks like a good movie. It just does. From a technical standpoint, it looks like a good movie. I don't know what the story's like. Never read this book. I don't know much about Marilyn Monroe's life. I realize this is completely just made up. And so, but I was still curious because we as humans are just curious creatures. And so when there's a lot of controversy or just something that is put in a bad light, our curiosity gets to the best of us. And I just wanted to see this for myself and decide for myself what I think about it. So I saw the film. I want to take a break to thank the sponsor of this video, Movie Palette. Hi, it's me interrupting me, and I just wanted to take a break to thank the sponsor of this review, Movie Palette. Movie Palette takes the concept of the movie poster to the next level. Movie Palette consists of stripes of colors carefully chosen by their team of artists. Every stripe represents a color of a particular scene in a movie and is put in chronological order on the canvas. There are so many movies to pick from, and it doesn't even stop there. They also have whole seasons of TV shows. I recently moved and I needed some things to put on my wall, and I was getting tired of putting up traditional movie posters and wanting something different, and Movie Palette stepped up to the plate. The movie palette that I chose was one of my favorite movies of all time, Logan. This gorgeous palette is a constant reminder of how beautiful this film is and how each scene evokes a different emotion all through its language of color, not to mention a great conversation starter. This is a unique piece to any film and TV lover's home, and I want to help you get one. Use the discount code CHASE15 for 15% off of any product on their website. Film is art, so why not display your favorite as such? That's 15% off of your order when you use the code CHASE15. I am of a couple mindsets. I wouldn't really recommend this movie to anyone. It is a rough watch to sit through. I felt gross after watching this. I felt nasty and dirty, polarizing, just like this stunned feeling where I couldn't really comprehend what I watched. I just know it was an emotional beating on my end to watch all this stuff that I saw on screen. On the flip side, objectively speaking, objectively speaking, this is a technically profound movie. The cinematography is crisp and gorgeous and utilizes a lot of interesting color scenes and black and white scenes, and it all just kind of comes together in this beautiful nightmare that is presented in front of us. So it's shot really well. The production design, the recreation of certain like red carpet events and theaters and homes and clothes, spectacular. The music, mesmerizing, ethereal, really kind of like elevates this thing to the next level. The performances are all really good. Ana de Armas, probably the best thing I've seen her in. But I won't recommend this movie to anyone. So I don't know if I actually like it as a movie. I don't know if I hate it. I just know that I'm kind of just polarized by it because I can acknowledge like some of the great things about it, and I can acknowledge some of the really bad things about it. So I mentioned a lot of the good things. Some of the bad things for me, I think it goes on way too long. And I think at a certain point we get it. It's one of those situations where like we get these awful things that are happening to this character. Not I didn't say Marilyn's name, this character of a person that is trying to get into the industry that's taken advantage of, and we just kind of see her um go through these really just awful things, and then by the end of it she kind of has to ask herself, was this all worth it? um I look at it as a film that's not based on Marilyn Monroe's life because it's all fictional. I look at it as just, it is a movie that is about an actress trying to climb up the industry, and we're seeing like these important milestones in her life that really define who her character is. And it's a sad conclusion that we get to at the end. And that's kind of the point. You're supposed to feel numbness. You're supposed to feel sadness the entire time. Is that something you want to put your body through for 2 hours and 46 minutes? Probably not. I think it is too long. I think it definitely gets its point across, and there are scenes that are dragged out way too long. And it's rough to sit through. It is disturbing. It is nasty. I feel dirty watching it. But I get it. I get the whole point of the story of someone who was taken advantage of, and we're kind of seeing this really nihilistic viewpoint of this character. Now, if this character was named any other character, some fictional name no one's ever heard of, I don't think this would have gotten nearly as much flack. I don't. Because it is attached to a real life person's name, do I think it's disingenuous to do that when this is based on a fictional retelling of her life and it had nothing to do with her real life whatsoever? Yeah, it is definitely snaky. I don't like it necessarily, but that is my own personal viewpoint. I have to review this as a film. I think if the main character was named someone else, this would have been a completely different conversation. I don't think people would have been nearly as mad. Could have still been a blonde-haired, pretty actress with a fictional name. I don't think people would have bat an eye at it. Um, so yeah, that's just kind of my take on that. But as far as the actual story goes, it's really it's intense. It's beautifully disturbing. It is um there's profound moments within it. Like there's a lot of great dialogue sequences that are buried throughout this entire disturbing film that were really poignant on people achieving their goals and dreams, and like what people want in life, and like what are they chasing after, and like there was a lot of great stuff that had to do with that I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed listening to the actors deliver those lines of dialogue. But yeah, just for me personally, it's too long, and I think the brutality that this character faces, it does stretch itself thin in terms of getting its point across. It's like I get it. It's could have been a 2 hour movie and probably would have got your point across even more. But same token, it's like these sequences are really beautiful, and some of them are drawn out um, to express this artful expression. And so yeah, I understand why director Andrew Dominic did the things he did. Um, I personally wouldn't have attached a real life person's name to this, but once again, we're viewing this as a film. Um, and he wants you to feel this way. He wants you to feel sad and gross and all that stuff. And like point taken, mission accomplished. And so yeah, I think there's definitely moments in this film that are quite miraculous and just quite beautiful, um, in terms of story and dialogue and character. But for me, it is rough to sit through, and I don't know if I ever want to put myself through this again. Um, Great one time experience to kind of experience it for myself, but that's about it. Um, Yeah, I mentioned production design, costuming, and music, and cinematography all standing, and I wish some of it could be pushed for Oscars, but with the controversy behind this, I don't think it's getting anywhere near that. Um, yeah. Also, before I get into the performances, this movie did not have to be rated NC-17. I've seen way worse, and it's quite funny to me that in America we can get movies like the Evil Dead remake, which I love, by the way. That is a hard R, and there is so much blood in that movie. But yet, this gets an NC-17 for 4 scenes, one of which lasts maybe 45 seconds to a minute. The rest of them are shorter than that. Like, it's not nearly as graphic as I thought it would be. So, I don't know why I got slapped with that, but that's small potatoes compared to everything else. But yeah, I don't know why it was rated that. But performances. Ana de Armas is incredible in this film, really encapsulating just so much emotional angst and sadness and happiness and all the things that you feel as a human. She amps it up to an 11, and the intensity through each emotion is shown through her face, her body language, her eyes, everything. She gives everything to this role, and you can feel it. It's quite incredible how she was able to navigate through all of this um really mature storytelling. I don't know how she did it. Also, side note off of that, she did not have to be nude for the last half of the movie. I swear to God, when I was watching it, and I was watching it with my girlfriend, at some point we're just like, "Cool, she's topless again. Does she have to? Does she have to be topless?" So that was a little irritating because we're just like, don't really think she has to be nude in this scene. But yeah, uh, other than that, that's not her fault. That's it's an Andrew Dominic problem. But um, with her actual performance of the film, it was devastating. It was beautiful. It was a powerhouse. She's really that good. The supporting cast is really great too. Adrian Brody was a standout for me. Bobby Cannavale is not really in it that much, but he makes an impact as an abusive lover that she has. And I really liked everyone else too, just really kind of giving into the era that this movie plays in, and the dialogue, the richness, and just the actual delivery of said dialogue. It was magnetic to see from every single actor. They treated it as like a piece of art, and like they lingered on every single word, and you were just glued to the screen. Because like I said, like this movie does go on too long for sure, but the 2 hour and 46 runtime also kind of fast. Like for me, like its pacing is supposed to be methodical and kind of slow and really drawn out. And it worked for me, but I can also acknowledge that, there are some things they could have just shortened to make their point come across a little clearer. But yeah, I um really enjoyed everyone on screen in this. So overall, would I recommend seeing Blonde? I don't know. Do I even like the movie? I have no clue. Do I hate the movie? I really don't know. It's one of those films that leaves you cold, it leaves you disturbed and grossed out, but fascinated and magnetized to the entire thing. Like I was so riveted by like the performances and the cinematography and music and production design, while also feeling completely isolated and just alienated throughout the entire thing because that's what the director intended it to do. Like I said before, if this was literally anyone else that was not based on a real life person, it was just some fictional name about an actress through the industry that's and it shows the horrors and the nightmares scenario that someone could go through back in the 50s in the industry, I would get all of that. But it is attached to a real person's name, and that's why people are up in arms. For me, since it is fictional, I took it as fiction. It works in some areas, it doesn't in others. So I honestly don't know how to feel about it. But hey, movies are art, and sometimes it does that. So let me know down below. what you thought of Blonde, whether you liked it, loved it, hated it, all that stuff. Please let me know down below, and I want to know your thoughts on it. But that will do it for this review. Thank you for watching. I'm Chase Lee. Thank you to our sponsor, Movie Palette, for all that they do for this channel. And then I will see you guys next time for another review. Goodbye.